So now you need the sheet that looks like this. So these are basically the same notes, but it's in a linear format so that if that works for you better, then you can use these sets of notes. And then we're going to do some practice sentences that are on the back of it. So first of all, just compliments in general are nouns, pronouns, adjectives that complete the meaning of a subject and verb. So today is just object compliments, then subject compliments are tomorrow. So you can see here in this area, there's just some different examples. So, she gave note, it's a noun following a verb. It completes the meaning of what she gave. Frank caught what? A tuna. She seems what? Happy. Maria is what? A class president. So sentences are just more interesting when you have compliments. So back to objective compliments. Like we were saying before, they follow action verbs. They answer the direct objects, answer the question who or what after the verb. If you have a DO, you might have an IO before it, but you have to have a DO first. Indirect objects answer to whom before what. And I said this before, but you didn't have to write it down, that DOs and IOs, and OCs for that matter, are never going to be found in prepositional phrases. And finally, the last one, objective complements follow the DO and they rename or describe the DO. So they could be a noun or an adjective after the DO. So if you have these particular verbs, give, show, lend, tell, write, or bring, those might trigger for you the idea that, okay, I might have an IO. Because if I'm going to give something, I might give it to someone. Remember, IOs answer to whom or for whom. If I'm going to lend something, I'm going to lend it to someone or something. So some OC verbs. So if you have these verbs, you may have an objective complement like to elect, choose, call, find, keep, name, appoint, make, or sweep. So it's definitely not as often that you have an objective complement in a sentence than having an indirect object. Okay, so we're only going to do a couple of these sentences, mostly because I think the sentences get a little weird at the end. So we just do a few. Okay, so sentence 1 says, you must give Francis Johnson some credit. Okay, so you start with all the things that you can do before you ask yourself all the questions. So first thing you do is you find prepositional phrases. And in this case, sentence number 1, we don't have any. So then the second thing you do, so if you're looking at the back of Grammarville, where Grammarman is saying, okay, step 1, step 2. So step 2 is find the verb. And the entire verb in this case is must give. So you're going to label must give as your AV, your action verb. Okay, because it's going to be important to know the difference between an action verb and a linking verb by the end of the week. Okay, so then you say, okay, who must give? The answer to that is you. You must give. You is your subject. So here's where all the other questions come into play. So you must give what? The answer to what is your direct object. You must give what? Credit. You must give credit. Credit is your DO. So if you look behind credit, there's nothing there. You can't have an OC if nothing is there. You could have an IO if something is in front of your DO. So does it make sense to say you must give credit to Francis Johnson? Sure does. So Francis Johnson is our IO. So you can say you must give credit to whom? To Francis. So that's how indirect objects work. Okay, let's look at sentence 2. This Minnesotan could teach the world patience. Step 1, prep phrases. Do we have any? No, we don't. Step 2, verb. Answer, could teach. So could teach, that's the whole verb. Who could teach? This Minnesotan, just Minnesotan, is your subject. So Minnesotan could teach what? The answer is patience. He could teach patience to the world. IO. Doing okay so far? Okay. All right, number 3 says he spent 41 years on a very special project. So let's start with prep phrases. Do we have any in this sentence? Yes, we do. So remember, you start with your preposition, and in this case, it's on. You go all the way down to the noun that it's dealing with. So the whole thing is on a project. So on a very special, those are all adjectives for project. So there's our prep phrase, and we're going to put it in parentheses. Okay, and now we don't care about it. Okay, pretend it's not there. I'm wiping it away. So he spent 41 years. Verb, spent. Who spent? He spent. He's my subject. He spent what? Years. Okay, now 41. Would it make sense to say that 41 is an IO? He spent years to the 41. No, no, no. So 41 is simply an adjective. Okay, not everything in front of a DO is an IO. All right. Okay, yeah, we're doing number 4. It says, during each of those years, he truly had a ball. So we have 2 prepositional phrases in that one. During each of those years. So we don't have to think about any of this now. Okay, he truly had a ball. Had is my verb. Who had? He had. He had what? A ball. Ball's my DO, and that's it. That's my whole sentence. If you're wondering what truly is, it's an adverb. It's telling you how he had. He truly had. Okay, now we're going to drop down all the way to number 8. Okay, so number 8 says, he made an enormous ball of twine, Cawker City's biggest tourist attraction. All right, so we have one little prep phrase. See if you can find it. Did you find it? Oh, great. Okay, well, our verb is made. Is my prep phrase going to come up? Okay, well, the prep phrase is of twine. Okay, great. All right, all my animations are out of order. Okay, whatever. Just stick with me. Okay, so made is my verb. He is my subject. He made. What did he make? He made a ball. Enormous is not an IO. It's just describing ball. But then we've got all this stuff down here. Tourist is describing attraction. Biggest is describing attraction. Cawker Cities is describing attraction. But the word attraction is describing the ball. Okay, so attraction, renaming ball, that is my OC. Okay, and I'm just about out of time on this screencast, so that's perfect. And then we're going to do some worksheets. Okay, enjoy.